Or welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing okay. Today we are going to be looking at my lipstick collection. If you haven't already seen it, I did a collection of my eyeshadow palettes and I just thought this would be the next logical step. I think I'll only do one other video after this one, and that will be sort of everything else that I own, just because I don't have that much of everything else. I'm going to leave them all linked down in the description box, and I'll also link what I have on my face, although this is a pretty basic sort of everyday sort of look. Just like with my eyeshadow palette collection, this is not a brag in any way. I have bought almost all of these lipsticks myself, and if I haven't, I will let you guys know how I got them, because I have won a few in giveaways. And just like with my eyeshadow palette video, I do have a few extra lip products which are in my cupboard of makeup that I'm going to do in testing videos, which I haven't touched yet and haven't used, and therefore it's not in my sort of everyday collection, therefore it won't be in this video, but you will see them in future videos. When I test them, I will say there is a Huda liquid lipstick in there that I have been holding back because I really want to use it. But other than that, I think that's everything, so let's go. So I might as well start with what's on my lips right now, and this is one of the Rimmel Superstay Matte Ink liquid lipsticks. I have 4 of them, but 2 of them are the same shade because this was my sort of go-to nudie brown colour for work when I used to do my placement year, and I thought I lost it, and then I bought a new one because I couldn't live without it, and then I found the original one. So yeah, 2 of the same shade and 2 different ones. I really like these liquid lipsticks. They have a nice scent to them. If you're not into scented products, then these maybe aren't for you. They last an incredibly long time, pretty much all day I would say. I have this shade on right now. It is the shade 80 Ruler. So those are those 3 shades there. The top one is 70 Amazonian, the middle one is 10 Dreamer, and the bottom one is 8 Ruler. They're all very nice shades. They do dry completely matte, however I'm hoping they don't dry on my hand because I will never get them off again. But they're very pretty shades. That middle shade is a bit too light for me, I think, but a bit of a darker lip liner and it'll be absolutely fine. The other 2 shades are very everyday for me and I do really enjoy wearing them. Next up, I have 2 of the Primark PS Super Matte Liquid Lipsticks. I bought these when I was at university. I think I bought them both for Halloween one year. They're not a very nice formula. They are very drying and quite uncomfortable, but they worked for the night and they were fine. They're both quite dark colours, and I don't even know if Primark still do these anymore. That top shade is Kiki and the bottom shade is Kylie. That Kiki shade is actually a purple, but it comes out incredibly dark, and the Kylie shade for some reason came out a lot less liquidy than the Kiki shade, so I think that one might be drying out and probably needs throwing out. They probably both need throwing out, but I'll keep them for now. Next is 6 of the mini Kylie liquid lipsticks. These did come in one of her birthday sets a few years ago. They're quite nice colours, I would say. Maybe this one I don't wear too much just because I don't really go for dark lip colours. I did used to own quite a few of the full-size Kylie lip kits, but I just decided to throw them out a few months ago because they weren't really colours I wore too often. And I'm not a massive fan of this formula. I think it's quite drying. However, with these 6, they're all very small, and I know that when I go back to work, I'll be wanting to take my lipstick to work with me so I can do touch-ups throughout the day. And I just think these are easy enough to carry around, so I kept these 6 but threw out all my full-sized ones. Okay, so from the top down we have Moon, Kristen, which is probably one of my favourites, Angel, Ginger, Love Bite and Vixen. That Vixen shade is a bit patchy and streaky, but I guess that's a bit more common with darker shades, but the rest of them are all quite nice and very wearable for me, I think. Again, it's just the formula is a bit drying, but they're so small and easy to carry around that I think I'll be okay wearing them for work. I have 2 of the Bleach London liquid lipsticks. These were again sort of a lip kit sort of situation. I do have the liners for them as well. Bleach London doesn't make any makeup anymore, which is so upsetting because I also have their contour powder in the shade Bones 4, which I really love, and I need to find a different one because I can't keep using it on YouTube videos when you can't buy it. And again, you can't buy these, but they're just such unique shades. I don't actually own another black liquid lipstick, and I don't own another blue shade liquid lipstick. These aren't colours that I wear like out and about, and if you do, that's amazing. I wish I had your confidence, but they're just not colours that I would wear every day. But I keep these for when I'm doing Instagram looks that need them. So the top shade is the Washed Up Mermaid shade and the bottom shade is Text Me Black. They're both so opaque and beautiful, and like I said, they're both part of lip kits, so they come with matching lip liners, which I think is super useful when you've got such bold colours. They both dry completely matte and they're just so unique. I really enjoy having them in my collection. It's just such a shame that Bleach London isn't really a thing anymore, but I'm sure I'll find other shades to replace these and eventually I'll throw these out, sadly. I also have two of the Sugar Pill liquid lipsticks. I think these are from their High Tea collection. And honestly, these have almost run out because they were my go-to every day for work when I used to do my placement year. They're such beautiful wearable shades and they smell like chocolate orange, which again, if you're not a fan of scents, that's not going to be much good news for you, but for me, I love it. You'll see when I do the swatches, I've pretty much run out of these, and I don't know if you can still buy them, but if you can, I will probably actually repurchase these because I do like them just that much. The top one is Clink and the bottom one is Trifle, and like I said, these are completely running out. It's so hard to get a decent swatch. I swear these normally come out very opaque and very beautiful, but they're just running out. I'm really going to have to repurchase these because I do love them so much and they are such nice wearable shades and they do smell like chocolate orange, which I absolutely love. I have one of the MUA Luxe Velvet Lip Lacquers. I'm doing a MUA testing video. That'll probably be my next video. I won't be testing this in the video. I've bought another lip product that I'm going to test, but I love this formula and this colour. It's a nice burnt orange shade, which I really like to wear. But this is just such a nice formula. It lasts all day, it's not uncomfortable. I just really like it, but when I went to go buy the makeup for my testing video, I didn't see this packaging on any of their lip products. So I'm not sure if they've repackaged it, and if they have, I've probably bought the exact same thing just in different packaging, or if they've discontinued it. But if they do still do this formula, then I'm probably going to end up buying it in every shade because MUA Cosmetics is incredibly inexpensive and this is such a nice formula and I really do like it. This is the shade Sizzle. It's just a beautiful burnt orange shade. I really personally love these shades. I think they're really beautiful and I love wearing them. I own quite a few burnt orange shades, but I wouldn't say no to more of them, and this one's a really good one. Next I have three of the Anastasia liquid lipsticks. I bought these in TK Maxx because they're quite expensive full price. And I do not like this formula. It's such a shame because Anastasia is such a well-known high-end brand that so many people love and praise, but I really dislike this formula. It's not bad when you put it on. It's actually got quite a creamy texture. It's quite nice. It's quite drying, to be honest, for a liquid lipstick. But the thing that really bothers me about this is that when it starts to wear off, which most liquid lipsticks do throughout the day, it doesn't just fade nicely. It sort of crumbles off and I just really hate it, and it's such a shame because these are all such lovely shades, but I just can't stand the way it wears off throughout the day, so I will not be buying any more of these, I'm sorry. Top shade is Bohemian, the middle shade is Bittersweet, and the bottom shade is Trust Issues. Bohemian is more of a red shade and Trust Issues is more of a purpley mauve sort of colour. They all dry darker than this, I feel, because they don't look that different on the lips, but they do look quite different in this swatch. They are nice shades and I do quite like them for autumn, but it's just the formula, I just can't get over it. So I don't know, maybe I'll keep these for days where I don't have to wear a lip colour for too long, maybe. The final set of liquid lipsticks that I have is the Revolution lip kits. I don't know if they still do these anymore, but they were a thing a few years ago because let's face it, every brand did the lip kit thing. And honestly, I cannot remember what these are like because I haven't worn them in so long, but I'm gonna assume that because I bought 4, it must be a decent formula at least. This shade here is called Treason and it's quite unique and I quite like it. It's sort of a grey sort of shade. I don't own anything else like it, and this I would say is quite wearable for me. If I want to go completely cool toned, this is what I will go for. That top shade is the Treason shade, which I think is lovely. It's not as opaque as I would want it to be, but it's still very pretty. That second shade down is Majesty, again a bit patchy and streaky, a bit like the Kylie lip colour, but it's not too bad. And then the third one is Echelon. I feel like everybody had this shade because it's just such a standard brownie nude that everyone used to love. And then the bottom shade is another burnt orange. It's called Regal and I just love it. if you couldn't guess, burnt orange and pinky nudes, they're the ones I go for the most probably. So now I'm going to move on to my bullet lipstick collection, and I don't wear these as often just because they don't last as long as liquid lipsticks, but I feel I need to get back into wearing them because they're not as drying on the lips usually, and even though you have to do touch-ups throughout the day, they still look nice, they still work well, the majority of them, so I definitely need to get back into them. And first up we have the Soph little bullet lipstick. This was part of her collection with Makeup Revolution. I think this was part of her second collab. I have the shade Syrup, which is a lovely nudie brown sort of shade, but I wish I'd gone for the shade Cake. This was an impulse buy. There was 3 for 2 on at Superdrug and I only had 2 items. They're like, oh, just go and pick up another item, and I dashed and picked up this one, and I really wish I'd got Cake, which is the more pinky toned one, because again, with lips like eyeshadow, I tend to go more on the pink side than the brown side. So there is Syrup. It's a nice shade. I do like the formula of these, however they don't dry down matte, so I don't like wearing them for that long because it does slip or slide around a bit, but it's a nice shade and it looks really pretty. I just wish it was a bit more matte, but I like having different formulas in my collection even if I don't use them as often. So next up I have 5 of the Bare Mineral Bare Pro lipsticks. I really like these. I won these in a giveaway a few years ago, but I really like the formula. I wore this one in my last video, the shade Petunia, and this shade Saffron here is another burnt orange shade that I really love, and I just like the formula. They're very opaque, they're very wearable, very comfortable. They're not too matte, but they're also not too glossy or satiny or anything like that. I just really like them. The top one is Raisin, and then it is Blackberry, Saffron, Petunia and Dahlia. The top 2 are a bit too dark for me, but I still wear them, but I definitely get more use out of the bottom 3. Obviously Saffron being another burnt orange shade, I obviously love it. And then Dahlia and Petunia are just lovely sort of pinky shades, and Dahlia is a bit more mauvey, which is a colour I'm starting to get into a bit more. I think I have to be careful when I wear it because it can sort of wash me out a little bit, but I think this is a good shade for me so long as I line it with the right sort of colour. Next up is another lipstick that I won in the same giveaway. It is a Diego Della Palma lipstick, and it is probably my perfect nudie brown shade. It's very similar to the Soph shade. However, this lipstick is so drying on the lips. It is so matte. This is the only lipstick that I will put lip gloss over. I'm not a massive fan of lip gloss, but if I wear this, I have to put lip gloss over it. However, that doesn't stop me from wearing it. I probably wear this quite often. It's probably my most used bullet lipstick. This is the shade 201 Nudology. It looks a little patchy on my hand, but that's just because of how matte and dry it is. On the lips, it doesn't look this patchy, and it really does look nice on the lips, and I think this is a really good shade for me. But yeah, it's just so dry, but a little bit of lip gloss fixes that. Another lipstick that was won in the giveaway, this is the MAC Plenty of Pout Plumping Lipstick. It is a nice shade. It's a bit dark for me. I tend to sort of pat it on just so that it comes out a little bit less opaque. I never got on the collecting MAC train. I know a lot of people did. I tend to not collect makeup in that way. I don't collect a brand in any sort of way. I do own a lot of makeup, but I tend to only buy things that I think I'm going to get use out of. And MAC has just never really been a brand that I've sort of looked at and gone, yeah, I need that in my life. But that's just me personally. In terms of plumping, I don't really think it does that much, but it is a nice colour and it's very wearable, and I definitely will get a bit more use out of this. This is the shade 207 Lovemaker. Like I said, I don't know what it is about this shade, but I think it's just a bit too bold for me maybe. That's why I prefer to pat it on instead of swiping it on. But it's not that opaque, it's sort of more of a pigmented, glossy lipstick. I feel like this would suit quite a few people. It's just for me, I prefer it patted on instead. And this also doesn't dry down matte. It is more of a gloss just in a lipstick shape. Okay, I think this is the last lipstick that was won in that giveaway, but this is the Colour Rich Matte by L'Oreal, I think. Yeah, and it's a lovely orange shade. It's a lot brighter than the other orange shades I own, but it is beautiful. It's definitely a nice summer shade. I do prefer to line this with a bit of a darker colour just because it is so bright, but it is really pretty. And when I got this, my nan, who's not really into makeup, she looks at it and says that's my sort of shade, and so that's where I get the whole orange love from, I guess. This is a shade 227 Hype, and look how vibrant and bold it is and beautiful. It is matte, which I quite like, but like I said, this might be a bit too bold and bright for me, but I think maybe with a bit of a darker lip liner it will look absolutely fine. But I do love this colour, it's just so pretty and different. I don't own anything like this, and that's coming from somebody who owns quite a few orangey shades. Another Primark lip product, this is just a black lipstick. Again, probably bought this for Halloween. It probably only cost £1, and it is not great. As you can see, the packaging is sort of broken on it. It's just not that great. It's patchy and streaky. You'll see it when I do the swatch of it, but I keep it just in case. But if I do a declutter, which I probably will do in a few months, maybe in a year's time, I'm not looking to declutter right now, but when I do, I already know that this is probably gonna go, but I'll keep it until then just in case I use it. So this shade is called 13 Black Heart. As you can see, it's just very streaky and patchy. It's just not the best black. I think a lot of brands would do a lot better, and even though this one is incredibly cheap, I just think you can get a better one. So maybe if Primark have changed their formula, maybe give them a try. Maybe I'll give them a try for you, but this one just isn't the best. Sorry. I have two Avon lip products. I personally don't shop at Avon because of the whole multi-level marketing issues and the problems that surround that, but my mum does shop on there, and so she probably bought these for me. This is the shade Carnation. It's a pretty pinky colour. This is the sort of thing I would wear on a daily basis. I quite like this shade. It might be slightly too light for me, but I mean, it'll still work. Bit of a darker lip liner, easy. This lipstick is in the shade Golden Wine, and it is sort of a lovely red wine colour, but it has gold flecks running through it, which I think is so beautiful and so Christmassy. It's just the fact that it's so dark, that's what's holding me back from wearing it. If this was sort of a pinky nude colour with those gold flecks, I think I would wear this so much more often, but it's because it's so dark I sort of shy away from it, but the gold flecks are absolutely beautiful. So the top one is that Golden Wine shade. That I don't know if you can see the gold flecks going through it, but I promise they are there and they do look beautiful. And then the bottom shade is the Carnation shade. Like I said, I think this is just a little too pale for me, or maybe it's just a little too peachy for my skin tone. I'm not too sure. But also this one doesn't dry matte. I don't think the top one does either. But yeah, they are both beautiful shades. Unfortunately, I just don't support Avon as a company. Sorry if you do, there's nothing against you, I just don't support multi-level marketing schemes. But yeah, they're nice shades, and I will hopefully get a bit of use out of them because I have them in my collection. It would be a waste if I didn't. But yeah, that's what they look like. I have two collection lipsticks in the shade Poppy Glam 12 and Rosewood 21. Poppy Glam is sort of a standard red lip. It's very beautiful on the lips. Collection is also a very inexpensive brand. And then this shade here is Rosewood, and just sort of a standard nudie colour really. Both very wearable, both very pretty. I quite like the formula from what I remember, and like I said, collection is incredibly cheap, so these probably only cost like £1. So the top one is 21 Rosewood and the bottom one is 12 Poppy Glam. I'm sorry for the state of my hand, it's starting to get a bit messy now, but they're very nice shades. They don't dry down matte, but they don't slip about as much as some of the other lipsticks I have. They are very nice shades. I think that red is a very standard red that a lot of people could wear. It's not too blue toned, but it's also not too yellow toned. And then that Rosewood shade is just a nice nudie brown to have. Who didn't own one of these? It's one of the Rimmel Kate lipsticks in the shade 107. I feel like everybody my age and a bit older owned one of these. It's a pretty standard cool toned bluey red. I don't like the formula of these. I think they're a bit almost grainy, which isn't what you want on your lips, and I don't think the colour suits me that well either, although it looks quite similar to what I'm wearing right now. So maybe I should give this another go, but I think I don't like the formula from what I remember. This is the shade 107. I think it's called Rosetto, but I'm not quite sure. But it's a much more cool toned red than the one we just saw. It does look nice, and putting it on my hand it didn't feel too bad in terms of formula, so maybe I will give this another try, give it another chance. But yeah, it is a nice shade. I think I could wear this. Okay, nearly done. I have a lipstick here from W7. It's in the shade Jemima. Again, it's just a lovely nudie pink shade. Can you guess the theme? I quite like this from what I remember. The formula is quite nice. It's not too matte, but it's not too satiny or anything like that. It doesn't slide around so easily. And again, it's W7, so it's probably incredibly inexpensive. I don't know if they still do these, but I do know that W7 is now available on Amazon or something, so I will probably do a full face testing them very soon as well. This is Jemima. It's not that opaque, I don't think, but I think that could just be down to the colour. It is a very pale colour, very pinky nude sort of colour. I do like it. I feel like I should start wearing this a bit more often. And like I said, this was probably incredibly cheap, so why not? So last but not least in terms of bullet lipsticks is this one from number 7. I remember back when I first thought I was getting into makeup when I was a teenager, my nan took me to like my nearest Boots and got that whole foundation test thing done where they match your skin colour to a foundation. Pretty sure they got it wrong, but at the time it was, if you spend so much on number 7 then you got a free lipstick, and this is in the shade Classic Rose. It's a very neat colour. It's sort of a rosy pink sort of shade which I wear every day. I can see that I've already had some use out of this, so I should go back to wearing this a bit more often because it is nice from what I remember, although it's probably out of date, but oh well. So this is the shade Classic Rose, and it is just sort of that classic pinky rosy nude shade. It's very pretty. I feel like I would suit this shade quite well, so maybe I should give this another try and see if I still enjoy it. And finally, I'm gonna group these all together. I only own 4 lip glosses because lip gloss isn't my favourite thing. I was very kindly sent this one by Wild Blossom Beauty, which is a Etsy shop. I think they're based in Scotland, and she also sent me a lip oil and a hard soap as well, and I enjoyed both those products. I'm still using both of them. I really do like this. It's called Autumn Leaves, and it's orange and it's got little flecks of gold running through it and little autumn leaf sort of glitter pieces. There you go, you can kind of see there. See the little leaf glitters? They're very pretty. It also doesn't come out orange on the lips, it pretty much comes out clear, which I quite like. So I will be using this probably in a lot of Instagram looks. Like I said, lip gloss isn't my everyday, so I probably won't wear this every day, but for Instagram and YouTube I'm more than happy to use it. I also have these as well. These were also won in the same giveaway as everything else. This one is from The Balm, and again this kind of comes out clear, and this is what I will put over that Diego Della Palma lipstick just to give it a bit more moisture, I guess. That sounds weird, but this is a plumping lip gloss, and unlike the MAC one, I actually do think this does something. It's quite nice, it smells very minty. Yeah, really like it. And finally, I have these two from I Heart Revolution. I have the shade Chocolate Fudge and Mocha. They smell amazing. However, I don't reach for these. I don't think I've ever worn them on my lips just because I don't go for brown shades, especially the Mocha shade. It's just way too dark for me, unfortunately. But I keep them in my collection in case I want to wear them for YouTube or Instagram, I guess. Okay, so the bottom one is the one from Wild Blossom Beauty. I don't even know if you can see it too well, but hopefully you can see the little sparkles running through it. But as you can see, it comes out completely clear, which is nice. So you can easily put that over any lipstick you wanted, really. And then the one above that is the Balm one, and I don't know if this has a shade number, but it's just the Plump Your Pucker lip gloss. It looks a little more pinky on my hand, but I feel like on the lips it's completely clear. And then the one above that is the I Heart Revolution Chocolate Fudge shade, and the one above that is Mocha. They're very, very pigmented, and I feel like a lot of people would love them. They're just not shades I would typically go for. And as they're a gloss and I don't particularly go for glosses, it just puts them in the bottom of the pile when it comes to things I'm going to pick to put on my face. Okay, and that is all of my lipsticks. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a like, drop me a comment, consider subscribing, but if not, that's completely fine as well. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to do the rest of my makeup collection probably in a couple of weeks' time, so let me know if you're excited for that. Also, like I said at the beginning, I do have more lip products to test that will be coming up in future videos, so maybe subscribe if you want to see them. But other than that, I think that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!